Hi, it's Hannah the Artisan Duck, and I'm back today with this really cute tutorial for this seed bead and pearl bow. To start the bow, I'm picking up my 8mm pearl and 20 size 8 seed beads. Leave yourself a 30cm tail thread and take your needle back through the seed bead nearest the pearl and pull. This will pull your beads into a loop. Pick up 20 more seed beads and repeat this step on the other side. To add the detail in the bow, you need to make sure you're exiting up through that first seed bead and then move your way up to the second bead along. Pull through. Pick up 5 more of your seed beads and you're going to count up to the 9th seed bead, including the one that you're exiting from. Ignore the one at the beginning here and start there. Take your needle into the seed bead and pull. Take your needle into the next seed bead along. Pick up 5 more seed beads and take your needle into the second to last bead, sort of on the other side from where you originally exited from, like that. And remember to keep the tension in your other hand on your tail thread to keep this beadwork nice and tight. Now take your needle through the size 8, the pearl, and the first size 8 on the other side. And repeat the exact same steps to make the other side match the first. So I'm taking my needle up the first seed bead on the other side. I've picked up 5 seed beads and I'm going into the 9th bead around my bow. I've picked up 5 more beads and I'm going to take my needle into the bead, the second to last at the end before the pearl, and pull. You're now going to take your needle through the seed bead, the pearl, and the first seed bead on the other side and pull through. Now take your needle through the seed bead and the pearl, but not the seed bead on the other side, and pull. Now pick up 2 more seed beads and you're going to take your needle through the 3rd bead along just below that pearl and pull through. And this will join your sort of bow ends onto your bow loops. Pick up 6 more beads and take them down your thread and take your needle back up through the 2nd bead at the bottom, so that when you pull through, the bead on the end acts like a stopper bead. Pick up 2 more beads and take them down. Take your needle back into the first of those 2 beads. Pick up a seed bead and take your needle into the corresponding bead on the other side but going down and pull through. And this is arguably the hardest part of the whole project. And then take your needle back up through the bead that you've just added, so the thread is going to cut across, and pull. And once you've done a few more, those beads will sit nicely side by side. You're going to repeat that step 3 more times. So I've picked up my seed bead, I'm going to take my needle down into the sort of corresponding bead on the other side and pull. Take my thread across and go back up the bead that I've just added to secure it in place. Once you've done that, you're going to go ahead and pick up 1 more seed bead and you're going to take it into the seed bead that we added at the start of this section and pull through. Now you're going to take your needle through your pearl and you're going to repeat that all over again for the other side. So I've picked up 2 of my beads and I'm going to take my needle into my 3rd bead down on the loop part of our bow. Pick up 6 more beads and pull through and take your needle back up the second to last. Pick up 2 more beads and pull through and go back up through the first of those 2 beads. Pick up a seed bead and take your needle down into the corresponding bead on the other side and go back up to secure in place. You're going to finish this section by picking up one bead, taking the needle into the first seed bead that we added in this section and pull. Now you're ready to tie the knots to secure the threads. To tie my knots, I've already got the tail thread coming up on this side for this loop, so I'm going to take this thread over to the other side, and when I tie my knots through these loops, it'll help tighten the beadwork up and make it sit much firmer. So I'm just taking my needle through my pearl and I'm going to pull through. And doing this will also help this sort of tail part of my bow on the other side sit nicer. And I'm just going to pull my tail thread as well, because I don't want any loose threads when I come to tie my knots. I'm going to take my needle up into the cream beads and pulling through. And I'm just going to work my way around, tying the knots around my threads. So I'm just going to cut across my threads and pull through. And then I'm going to pull up through the loop, and I'm holding my tail thread really firm because this thread here is directly connected to my tail thread. And I'm going to tie another of those knots exactly the same way, making a loop and then going through. And then I'm going to move across into the bead. I'm just going to repeat that on both sides. Once you've cut off all your excess threads, just go ahead and put a chain on, or however you want to use it. I will put a link below for the blog post that goes with this, because I will put some pictures on there as well if you want to see a little bit more, or some maybe slower details or close-up details of the beading. But other than that, thanks so much for watching, and I shall see you again soon. Bye!